they understand that in order to keep a people down, they have to change the music that they listen to.
Welcome to the Dark Times channel. So please be sure to hit that like button for me and make sure you subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't done so already. And so I went back and I looked at some of the Grammy winners and some of the nominees back when they first started giving out the Best R&B Album Award, all the way back in 1995. And so if we just go down the list, that very first year they had the award, 1995, you had Boyz II Men taking home the very first Grammy.
I'll make love to you, Boyz II Men.
And just look at the nominees you had. You had Anita Baker. I remember that album. Tevin Campbell, I'm Ready. Another good album. Gladys Knight, another good album. Michelle, I think I want to say I remember one of her songs, but I'm not quite sure. Luther Vandross. These were just some of the nominees in 95 for the Grammys. 9-6, TLC, Crazy Sexy Cool.
The year is Creep by TLC.
Another good R&B group. They kind of mixed in some of the hip hop with the R&B, but for the most part, I remember that Crazy Sexy Cool album being more R&B than hip hop. Mary J. Blige was up. D'Angelo was up for an award. Prince was up for an award. Barry White was up for an award. 1997, Tony Rich won it. Nobody Knows.
I'm trembling inside, and nobody knows it but me.
In 1998, you got Erykah Badu winning.
Best R&B album is, I'm such a big fan, Erykah Badu.
Babyface had a good album out that year. Mary J. Blige had a good album out that year. Boyz II Men had a good album out there. Patti LaBelle, she was still hanging in there. Whitney Houston with the Preacher's Wife soundtrack. Man, Whitney Houston had a lot of good soundtracks, or at least two iconic soundtracks. The Bodyguard was, of course, a classic. I think that one had at least 7 number ones that went platinum. And The Preacher's Wife, I can think about 3 or 4 songs on there that I think went platinum as well. She had some really good soundtracks. 1999, we had Lauryn Hill, The Misconception of Lauryn Hill. Classic album.
The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. Lauryn Hill. Tell me who I have been.
Everybody remembers that. She definitely, I think she deserved it that year. But look at the nominees. You had Erykah Badu. You had Brandy, Never Say Never, another good album. Aretha Franklin. Man, I don't remember that one, but the fact that she was still putting out music, man, that was good to see. Maxwell in 99. He was still doing his thing. Shoot, fast forward to 2000. Now, this is probably, like I said, in the late 90s and 2000s, this is where we kind of see a little bit of the decline in R&B. So TLC that year, 2000, they took home the Grammy, and I'm pretty sure they won it for No Scrubs. And to me, that's not really R&B. That really gets into more pop. And even Mary J. Blige at that point, she started getting into more pop. Even Whitney Houston at that point, she was getting into more pop. But R. Kelly, man, R. Kelly. And look at the picture that they put up. Look at what they put when it comes to R. Kelly. Y'all can say what y'all want about R. Kelly, but you have to be able to separate the man or the woman from the art. It's two different things. When it comes to music, R. Kelly is definitely one of the kings of R&B music. But you can't tarnish his music career because they don't do it to other legends and other icons. Like when it comes to Elvis Presley. I heard a story about Elvis Presley this morning, actually, that his ex-wife, Priscilla Presley, after she got pregnant at 15 or 16 by him, after they were secretly married, after she gave birth to his child, he lost interest. He only wanted to mess around with young girls. But yet they just put out a movie on the so-called king of rock and roll, Elvis Presley. And he was pretty much an open weirdo.
You were 14 years old. Elvis was 24, right? Mm-hmm. How did your parents allow a 14-year-old teenager baby to be with this then superstar of, and you would get home very late at night and be exhausted the next day when you had to go to school, and your parents let you go again and again?
It's, you know, when you're in love, it's hard to fight. And I was...
Like I said, when it comes to them, all you learn about is all their great accomplishments. But when it comes to the so-called black man in history, they make sure to make a point that they point out all of his misdeeds. Not just one, I mean every single one of them. When you learn about Thomas Jefferson in school, not one time do they ever talk about their deviant behavior with a lot of their slaves and a lot of the crimes they committed during slavery with said slaves. So like I said, R. Kelly had probably one of the greatest albums of all time. Not just that year, but one of the greatest albums of all time. And I remember that album R very well. If I'm With You, that was a jam. Half on a Baby, another jam. When a Woman's Fed Up, Get Up on a Room. That one closed the deal of many a night, and y'all know what I'm talking about. If y'all go to try to buy this record, not the CD, the actual vinyl album, it's going for about $200. And that's in mint condition. You can probably get one, you know, an LP that's a little beat up. You could probably get it for around 80 to 100 bucks. And so like I said, the music industry, they know the worth of this album. I think it had about, 32 songs. It was a double album. But like I said, late 90s and definitely into the 2000s, R&B really started to fall off. Almost every R&B song had to have a remix, and it had to have somewhat of a hip hop vibe to it.
Let me get that Lex, niggas flashing, nigga get the acid.
I like that. This is for the steppers, strictly for the steppers.
Now, if you look at R&B music, it's definitely, you know, a lot more highs than lows, I think.
Only like myself when I'm with you. Nobody gets me, you.
I used to be the one who was lying, oh lying, oh.
You know, so you're not gonna feel anything. I compare it to elevator music. You know, you get in the elevator and you hear some of that elevator music, it's not gonna do anything but pass the time until you get to the floor that you're trying to get to. And that's all the music is. You get in the car, you turn it on, and it's not gonna do anything but pass the time. You're not gonna feel anything. You're definitely not gonna secrete any melanin, which music, especially R&B music, is supposed to do. You were gonna feel something back in the day. Earth, Wind, and Fire. You were gonna feel something. You were gonna have to move, or you were gonna have to reflect about something that you were about to do or that you had done. And now, like I said, you get in the car, you put that music on, and like I said, now it's more just to pass the time, for better or worse. And so let me know what y'all think in the comment section, and make sure you like and share this video as well, and make sure you subscribe to this channel. Definitely look forward to posting more videos on this channel as well as the other one. Thank y'all for all the support, and as usual, peace and chaos.